What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Everything Wrestling. Today, we will be focusing on Wrestlemania 3 and 4. So, if you haven't checked out our previous episode where we covered Wrestlemania 1 and 2, make sure you go check that one out. But today, our focus will be Wrestlemania 3 and 4. And as always, we use our figure photography to illustrate or to recreate some of the events that we felt like stuck out during those times. So sit back, relax, and let us take you down nostalgia road. So the first match we will be covering was the loser must bow match between Junkyard Dog and King Harley Race. So pretty much the overall tone of the match was more of an entertaining match. We know Junkyard Dog was not a technical type of wrestler, so it wasn't one of those matches that you watch and be like, oh, you know, uh, there was a couple of arm drags and stuff like that. No, but it was entertaining, and this was kind of the payoff from the storyline where Harley Race expected everybody to bow. Junkyard Dog didn't believe that he was that high of a person to be and nobody should have to bow to anybody. And one of the Junkyard Dog's famous lines doing that for that scene was the only person he was bowing to was the Lord above. And pretty much, like I said, entertaining, well done. It would keep your interest. And if you for our figure photography, we basically recreated the aftermath of the match. Obviously, King Harley Race won the match, but as Junkyard Dog said, he wouldn't bow to him, and he ended up doing a little curtsy to him, almost like what the females do. And then when King Harley Race turned his back, he took the chair and walloped him. So it was definitely basically Junkyard Dog, quote unquote, adhere to the rules, but he crowned him, and I think that's what the finishing point was. Now, this match right here, to me, almost should have pretty much gave the main event a run for his money. And anybody who has seen this match knows that Ricky Steamboat and the Macho Man gave one of the best uh, matches still to this day, hands down. Um, Technical, storytelling, you name it, they had it in that match. And this was very well done. And like I say, to this day, it's ranked up there as I would put it in top 10 matches overall in the history of wrestling. That's how good it was. So if you have not checked out um, the matchup between Steamboat and Macho, make sure you check it out as soon as possible. But obviously, the part we recreated was the ending where Steamboat would finally defeat Macho Man. And this saga had been going on for so long. From storytelling when Macho Man messed up Steamboat's throat, all the way through the Saturday Night Main events, events that was happening just leading up to this. And even I would suggest going back and watching the promos leading up to this. Both of them gave great promos that you felt the emotion, and you connected with both of them when it came to this match. So I definitely would tell you top 10. Check it out. Now the next match we'll be focusing on was the match between Honky Tonk Man and Jake Roberts. And this was more of an entertaining match. Pretty much you had Honky Tonk Man, obviously with Jimmy Hart in his corner, and then you had Jake Roberts with Alice Cooper. And again, we had the mix of the rock and wrestling era. So you had Alice Cooper working with Jake the Snake, and overall, it was a pretty good match. Um, and the ending, of course, we know Jimmy Hart was so well, according to Jimmy Hart, was petrified of snakes, and pretty much Honky Tonk ended up winning the match, but Jake the Snake got the last laugh when he put Jimmy Hart in the full Nelson, and I'm sorry, Alice Cooper put Jimmy Hart in the full Nelson, and Jake the Snake threw the snake on him, and Jimmy almost had a conniption. But it was it was a match for, again, on the undercard, very well done. And this WrestleMania had a lot of good undercard matches, and I think that's what made this WrestleMania stand out. So, and the part that we're recreating is the entrance, Honky Tonk Man's entrance, and I really love the WrestleMania carts that we got from Mattel. I think that's one of those things that you never thought we would get, and to see it actually recreated in figure form, I thought that was so awesome. So of course I had to do a recreation of Honky Tonk coming in on those carts, and like I said, I love those carts, those ring carts that WrestleMania used during that time, and I hope they, as a throwback, they bring them back or something. But yep, and of course our main event for WrestleMania 3 was Hogan versus Andre. And I don't know, there's nothing really I can say about this one that has not been said. I mean, it was basically David versus Goliath, the best friends having them finally going one on one. Macho Man, I mean not Macho Man. Andre was undefeated on record, according to WWF. Now, it was said that Andre had a defeat before, but according to WWF, Andre was undefeated. Hogan had been champion for, shoot, I mean, I think a couple of years, I think somewhere along there. But Hogan had the belt for a while, and pretty much this was what everybody wanted to see in the 80s. This is just like, it was one of those, the setup to this was just so amazing, down from the Piper's Pit when Piper uh brought in Hogan, and Jesse brought in Andre, and they set the stage for this. So the part that we're recreating is that emotional stare down between Andre and Hogan. And when you just, the crowd was, that pop that crowd gave when, and you can see hawking up as he approached Andre. So of course, like I said, it's so much been said about this match, and so much that we've seen according to this match. I don't need to repeat it, but again, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, and see what the hype is about. Now we are moving on to WrestleMania 4. And WrestleMania 4 basically was the WrestleMania that had the tournament for the world title. So, little backstory. Um, this was right after DiBiase basically bought the world title. He paid off the twin referees to screw Hogan over. Andre ended up winning the belt. Andre ended up handing over the belt to DiBiase, and pretty much they made a ruling that you couldn't buy the title. So they vacated the title, and for WrestleMania they had a tournament for this for the belt. Also, this was the WrestleMania where they introduced the new winged eagle belt. So this would be the first time that we would see the winged eagle belt arrive. So, but in what we are going to focus on was one of the quarterfinal matches, and that match was between DiBiase and Don Morocco, and it was a pretty good match. Definitely, I mean, Don Morocco wasn't the most technical, but Don Morocco, being a big guy, could go. So it was definitely a good match. DiBiase, we know, was a technical type of wrestler. So both of them carried the match very well. DiBiase ended up winning with the slingshot. So as you can see, I mean not the slingshot. I forgot what that move is called, but clothesline. So he used the ropes to clothesline Morocco, and pretty much he ended up beat Morocco. Also, superstar Billy Graham returned at WrestleMania to be in Don Morocco's corner. Billy Graham had I think hip surgery during that time, so he made his appearance uh, back for WrestleMania. So overall, tournament was very good. A lot of good matchups. There was a lot of DQs, but I understand why they had those DQs. But if you haven't checked out the tournament, make sure you go check that out. All right, next up, we got the WWF Tag Team Title match between Demolition and Strike Force. So Strike Force uh, came in as the World Tag Team Champions, and pretty much they were setting the stage for the model Rick Martel to go on his own, make his singles run. So, of course, they had to get the belts off of Strike Force. The part that we recreated, and overall, this was a good match, good matchup. The Demolition and Strike Force always had good tag matches. Same with Strike Force and Heart Foundation. Though those three teams, Demolition and Heart Foundation, also. So those three teams intermixed with each other very well. Whenever they had a matchup, and it was definitely entertaining to see. Part that we're recreating, as you can see, is the ending of the match where Rick Martel had smashed in the Boston Crab, which was his finisher, and Axe took Mr. Fuji Kane and no pun intended, smashed Martel in the back of the head, and that's pretty much how they won the tag titles. So from the picture, you can see that we pretty much have Axe getting ready to knock Martel in the head, and Mr. Fuji up on the apron being the distraction. Definitely a good match, and I definitely say check it out. All right, for our final match, we are covering the tournament final between Macho Man and Ted DiBiase. And pretty much this will also set up the Mega Power storyline. So if you remember, this was where DiBiase had Andre in his corner with the intentions of Andre helping him to get the belt. Macho had Liz in his corner. Andre interfered so much or caused such a distraction to the point where Liz ran to the back, got Hogan, and Hogan ultimately ended up assisting Macho to help him win the world title. And then this also set up the um, Mega Powers storyline, the Mega Power Explode storyline, which we will see next WrestleMania, and so on and so on. So a lot happened. And when we talk about storytelling, we see WWE with the current product going back to this type of storytelling, but this was great storytelling, something that happened a year ago, basically kept telling that story, and we seen it play out a year later. So, um, and I'm basically referring to WrestleMania 4 with the assistant of Hogan leading through the Mega Powers all the way through where the Mega Powers exploded. So a whole year of storytelling played out from one WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania. So definitely glad to see the new product going. I mean, to see WWE going back to that type of storytelling. Other than that, that concludes this episode of our WrestleMania Greatest Hits. Make sure you go and check out our episode 1 of our WrestleMania Greatest Hits. If you haven't checked that one out, also go back and check out our other pay-per-view episodes from WCW and WWE. So we have Starrcade, Halloween Havoc, all the big pay-per-views that we know from WCW. We also have the Monday Night Wars, uh, Raw and WCW side. So definitely go back and check that. And if you're into figure photography, also we got a lot of that going on. So we got a lot of things, a lot of engaging things that I think you would enjoy. So check it out. And also, if you hadn't hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you know when our new posts hit, and you can stay abreast of uh what's going on. It's WrestleMania season. We're heading to WrestleMania, so definitely we will be doing some things with that. So make sure, like I say, you hit the notification button so you can stay abreast of what's going on with us. So with that, all that said, thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. Y'all stay blessed out there, and I will see you on the next go around.